Okay, so I think that we all know that this is true. Like, it rings true in our hearts, right? It's a different thing to have it corroborated by the executive of the company, you know? I think we all suspect in our hearts that the Republican National Convention is a bumpin' time for gay hookup app Grindr. Shout out to Dead Domain, who went to the RNC last year, and they did look on Grindr to see how many people were on there. So, like, you know, feel free to check out Dead Domain's video about infiltrating the Republican National Convention as a trans person. I personally wouldn't have done that, but, you know, mostly because all of the COVID. But it is amusing, at the very minimum, that we now have... Well, okay, so 8 years ago, there was a post on Vice about how Cleveland was bombarded with white dudes on Grindr during the Republican National Convention. Apparently, the biggest trend during RNC was, quote, the overrepresentation of white males. So yeah, this was 8 years ago, right? But so the question is, does this remain true to this day? And I think that it must, because I do wish that there was more detail on this post, but apparently an executive of the gay dating app Grindr says that the Republican National Convention is, quote, basically Grindr's Superbowl. Basically Grindr's Superbowl. The Super Bowl of gay hookup apps is the Republican National Convention. Like, I find this really funny because of, obviously, like, they're so homophobic. But it's like, I feel like it's kind of, we have to be careful about how we joke about it, because there is this sort of implication that, like, I think when we accuse homophobic people of being secret closet homosexuals, it kind of positions gay people as our own oppressors. So I just want to be clear before we meme too much that there are plenty of homophobes who are not gay. Like, so probably most of the people at the Republican National Convention who are super homophobic are not gay, but there are some. There are some. It's a significant enough number for it to be both profoundly funny and profoundly sad. You know? Like, just be yourself, you know? Just let go of this idea that to be a man, you have to pound women or whatever, you know? Feel free. Let yourself be free to pound some dude in the butt, okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hi, I'm Alexander, and this is Mitternacht. You should hit the like button and subscribe and check out the Patreon. And ooh, look at this hoodie I'm wearing. It's merch. Check it out. Links in the description. Thank you. So I will say, there's this post. They just labeled it opening Grindr at the RNC. So I just want to look at this real quick. No sound, thank you. 0 feet away, 0 feet away. That's what we're looking at. I know it's kind of hard for you to see, and I don't know that I can make it any bigger. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Just 0 feet away. Tons of dudes online now, 10 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, 0 feet away. This person just does this for a full minute. Just a solid minute. How many dudes on the DL in this room? And like, there are some openly gay Republicans, you know, that's the whole log cabin Republicans thing. But realistically, probably most of them are on the DL. Very funny. Yeah, or listen, I want to correct myself, okay? You can either pound in the butt or be pounded in the butt, okay? No bottom shaming here, right? No bottom shaming. I figure it's kind of like CEOs having a thing for being dominated. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because, like, maybe a lot of, yeah, they could be closeted bisexuals. Like, maybe a lot of these guys are doing this because it's forbidden, right? And we know that sexual behavior doesn't always necessarily align with sexual orientation. Like, you can experiment and then decide, like, okay, I'm actually not that into it. You know, there are people who are like, yeah, let's do this for gratification and not because I am gay. A little bottom shaming if they're into that. Your kink is okay, all right? It's okay for you to be into some slight amount of shaming or humiliation, okay? It's all right. I give you permission. Could be trans chasers too. Yeah, always an option. I was looking for a particular post. See if I can find it. Apparently the Milwaukee Grindr server crashed from overuse. Like, there was a high number of reported outages. Grindr outages reported in the last 24 hours. They crashed the server. That's insanity. Like, crashing the server. This is funny. This post says, I need to save her because this trans girl just got a message from somebody on the website or on Grindr who says that they're straight, who says, you're hot as I was, or sorry, you're hot as I wish I was as a girl. Wow, I can't read right now. And like, I need to save her. I don't know if this actually has anything to do with RNC or if that's just a general post. But yeah, you know, it is pretty funny that, you know, allegedly Grindr added server capacity for the RNC convention because they're prepared for it, you know, basically Grindr's Superbowl, and they still managed to crash the server. I think the Old Testament says not to lay with another man, so maybe it doesn't count if you're standing. Fair enough. True. Last month was Pride, now it's time for Wrath. Thank you so much to my patrons, including Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvog, Jack, Amanda B., Michelle Winter, Wellington Marcus, Danielle McDonald, DZXN, Spooky Heather Sylvia, Pasnell Infinity, Suzanne Maynard, Sojo, Jamie Jam, Desi Quiche, Jericho, Kevin Young, Liam Hodgson, Athiette, Elavie Nobody, Mr. Atheist, Elizabeth Bartell, Celeste, Nova, and Michelle Frattaroli.